We'll make a couple closing comments, and then I'm going to ask Ron Stout, who is our partner at Ardmore, to come up and make a couple of closing observations or impressions. And I would say that I believe our crew is still going to be around a little bit. If you'd want to do a video, we're hopefully over 10 or 12 now. Your impressions of the meeting. I don't know if the guys will stick around a little bit at 3:30 or something, but they might be here a few minutes. So Yoram, please.
So again, I wanted to echo Mike's thoughts and congratulate you all on spending about almost 2 days outside of a comfort zone, and that's something to be congratulated. Before I say anything further, I'd like to recognize two people without whom we could absolutely have not done this meeting, and that's Cher Redwood and Kathy DiGiacomo. We're in the back. Mike and I basically wanted some deniability in terms of later on having to come back and ask people for favors, and didn't want to have a track record of having bugged them repeatedly for presentations and other things, and so we gave the thankless task of that to Cher and Kathy, and of course to their incredible logistical abilities. I think everyone should also recognize the terrific infrastructure here with our university club and FIPS. I think Sarah's still here, so maybe you can give just a round of applause for that. So my own thoughts are, I thought it was, obviously it was somewhat by design, but it was terrific that it worked out. We created this structure to be cross-cutting inherently. As you might imagine, that required a little bit of thought, a little bit of work, and by a little bit I mean about a year of weekly conference calls almost, and meetings. We had the extra synergy and perhaps extra effort that were required to coordinate with Ron Poropadic, who's in the back, and their Human Performance Enhancement meeting, which I think turned out to be not only a terrific meeting, but also in the ability to cross-fertilize. You heard Colonel Junker's comments, etc. And I think I'm not remiss in saying that this is an unprecedented series of meetings. I know at least for my 20 years at the university, I don't remember there ever being a week like this. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that those of you in the lifestyle medicine field have probably not had a meeting like this. I can tell you that for the typical computational meeting, doesn't ever go like this. And so, we've broken a lot of ground. My own impression is that it was terrific to see panels that were ostensibly about one topic, almost effortlessly flowing into one of the cross-cutting topics, and not just because we, put ringers in there to make that happen. And I think that is terrific. I think it presents, for us, a relatively, I have to say, a much easier task of writing the white paper than what we envisioned originally. And I know Mike will talk about this, but I will put that out there as a plug to invite all those that are interested in contributing to the white paper, to reach out to us and to contact us. So again, I'll stop there and thank everybody for all their help and participation in the meeting. Thank you.
A couple of thoughts. One of the things that made this meeting such a success was a quality that Barry talked about yesterday, was how powerful humility is. Everybody in this room could have been a keynote speaker, and has been many times, not only in the US, but around the world. Your humility made this a success. Secondly, Steve used the word right now, collective impact. Our hope is that this meeting is that collective impact with people who don't normally sit around tables like this in places like this for 2 days to kind of brainstorm a way forward. So that's our challenge. It's a high bar. It hasn't been done before, but why not? Because I think what we heard from Dr. Levine to every other speaker, the challenge is so great, the time is short, and the threats are huge. The opportunities also are great. Going back to Eduardo, never let a crisis go untaken advantage of. So we're going to write a white paper. The way we'd like to do this, we would like to solicit a primary authors group. Anybody who's been here at the meeting is eligible to essentially write Yoram or I and say, I'm interested in being that primary authors group. We also, for that group, at a finite level, we would see offering a reasonable honorarium for your work to do that. We would also then have a participants group as an asterisk at the bottom. You've seen these types of papers and works, and at some time we would want to get as many of you to be co-authors or at least endorsers of the findings, the recommendations, the processes, the cross-fertilization that we think is going to be very impactful. So that's go forward. We'll leave it with you. Contact us, or we will reach out to you. Some people like to write, some people like to edit, some people like to do neither. We understand that. But for Yoram and I, make sure that the reason that we're going to get it all in a way that makes sense and impactful. That's our promise, at least our promise to try. So with that, Ron, why don't you come on up and put a big bow on this? And again, thank our film crew. They might hang around if you want to do another interview, but we are looking at putting together both short clips of the interviews as well as maybe a recording of the whole meeting in a way that could be marketed and packaged for external audiences. We're visual. Sometimes we like movies better than reading white papers, and maybe there's other things we can do, but that's on our agenda.
Well, let me thank each of you again, and thank Mike and Yoram, UPitt and UPMC. This exceeded our expectations, and I think it exceeded what we were BSing about a year or so ago. So thank you all very much. When I spoke briefly yesterday morning, I mentioned that Ardmore Institute of Health is an organization that envisions a time when lifestyle medicine will be the preferred choice. And then I gave some subtext to that. I talked about lifestyle medicine becoming part of the systems of care. Dr. Sanchez, I think, summed it up very nicely. That we know the what. How about the how? I also mentioned about democratization, and I talked about the easy choice, the healthy choice being the easy choice. It's something really easy to say, but Steve Wolf, I think, captured it, was it this morning? Perfectly. It's about not only enabling the individual, but it's about creating environments, big picture, where that healthy choice is indeed the easy choice, the cheap choice, the available choice, the practical choice, the unconscious choice. And so what you guys have put together is a summit that I think will not only challenge the research organization, but it'll also challenge the lifestyle medicine community. And I think that's just right on time. I love it. One of the things that we chatted about briefly is I think the conversations that you all have led here is important enough that we're going to see how we could package these and present them in a way that folks looking at it from afar online can really get some of the same meat that you all have presented and experienced. So thank you for your participation. We'll look forward to working together, and let's do this again sometime.
Everybody travel safely, and thanks again.